How you doing? My name is Violet Mbiti, and thanks again for joining us on our YouTube channel, Youth Projects Kenya, where we discuss topical issues that are affecting the youth. So if you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, kindly do so. So I just want to talk about now the issue of youth unemployment. Like in Kenya, the situation is dire. 40% of youth are unemployed. Every year, 1 million youth are graduating from the various universities seeking for greener pastures. And the greener pastures is getting a job in the private sector, and even in the government. But you find like there are limited supply of jobs. And what could attribute the reason as to why this is taking place? Number one, demand for labor. So you find like the private sector, the employers, they are not looking towards employing new personnel. But why is this the case? This can be attributed because of they do not match the skills that are required by the job market. And so you find like when they go and apply for a job, they look for soft skills, they look for hard skills, but these are not being found in the job applicants who are being interviewed. So now this brings to question the relevance of the limited relevance of the education system in Kenya. So you find like the universities, they are still training the same courses that were being taught in the 1970, 1980. So you find like the courses that are, the graduates who are graduating at the moment, they are being released to go and work. But you find like the employers do not require those skills. And that's why I applaud Professor Magoha for his initiative to revise the programs that are being offered in the various universities in the country. Because at the end of it all, you find like parents are paying school fees in the hope that these youth are going to get a job and that they're going to be employed. But you find like the employers are saying the kids, once they graduate, they don't match the skills that we are looking for. The other thing is the issue of supply. So you find that like in Kenya, the reason why even the unemployment situation is very high is because the supply exceeds demand. The supply for labor exceeds demand. So you find like 1 million youth are graduating every year, and all of them are looking for a particular kind of job. So you find that is why it is not a surprise when you find like an organization is advertising certain jobs, and you find like 3,000 youth are applying for that particular job, like what happened at Kenya Ports Authority. So now this brings to the question. The government every year states that the economy is growing. But do you know that if the economy is growing, it should translate also in the creation of jobs? But you find that this is not happening. So you find like in Kenya, there is low growth of the economy. And I believe that it is high time right now that this situation should change. So is there hope for Kenya? Indeed, there is hope for Kenya. So I believe that what the government should do, they should go and carry out a case study of Singapore. Because Singapore was in the same situation as Kenya in 1963. They revised their policies, and you find that even their economy grew. And as you're speaking right now, the economy of Singapore is far much greater than the one in Kenya. And you find like Singapore is now among the developed countries in the world. So why doesn't Kenya implement or go out and look at what is being done outside so that they can bring it to Kenya? That's why I usually say that Kenya, they are very good in applying policies, in signing those policies, but implementation is now the difficult thing. So you find like Kenya signed now the Decade Plan of Action for Youth, and it also signed the Youth Charter. But you find that what they are doing, they are saying that how we are going to address this youth situation in Kenya is we are going to release youth fund, we are going to we're going to have Uwezo fund, but giving the youth the money, and yet they have not yet been taken through now the exercise of seeing how if they start a business right now, how it can grow. Because you know, like every organization or every business that you start, you should have a unique selling proposition for your company. But you find that there are so many youth have resorted, okay, let me just be self-employed. So you find that the youth are self-employed, but they're finding that their business is not growing. And this is because they don't have the technical skills for enabling their businesses grow. And that is why we say that when you give this youth the job, when you give them money, let's say for youth fund, because you're targeting groups, why don't you take them through the growth process to ensure that whatever they have started, it's going to mature, and that even when they want to go and get loans, it will be accessible to them. So you see, like when you start a business, you need to have a unique selling proposition. Why is your business unique? Because let's say, for example, so you find like maybe you go to town, you find like 10 shops, all of them, they have M-Pesa. But you find like there is one that customers are going there daily, day in, day out. And that is because they have found their unique selling proposition. So I believe that organizations, especially youth organizations, should be taken through the business canvas model so that they can go through step-by-step guide so that they can see how they can grow their enterprises. So that even when they go and require and request for a loan from the bank will just look at the document and say, oh, I can see you are doing well. And that's the good thing, even with the company Violet Vijana Network International Limited. We are bridging that gap by training entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs, on how to grow their business, so that to a level that even when they go and request for funding from microfinance situations, they can get it. So the other issue I also like to talk about that is also impeding there not being jobs for the youth. You see, like in Kenya, 70% of Kenyans rely on agriculture. So you find that many youth, you find like in the rural areas, many of them are engaging in agriculture. And also you find that the country is exporting a lot of agricultural goods. But why aren't we seeing this result in job creation? And this is because that of the post-independence policies that Kenya has with regard to agriculture. So you find that the policies that we have at the moment is to just export raw materials. So you find like we have coffee in Kenya. It's growing in the central part of Kenya. But what we are doing, we are just exporting it as it is. Like Mira, it's coming from Meru, but it's being exported as it is to Somalia. And then you find that Kenya is importing now the processed products from Europe, from all over Kenya. From the people that you sold to, now you're buying them from them. Can't you see that you've created jobs for the youth who are outside there? And that is why I applaud the county government of Kirinyaga, led by Governor Waiguru. Because what they did is they said that what we are going to do, we are going to export our own coffee and we are going to process it and package it. And they are now selling it in New York. So you find like there are many youth who are endured. That's why I usually say the youth who come from central Kenya, from Rift Valley, you have rain, the soils are good for agriculture. So sometimes I'm usually shocked when you say that you don't have, that there is no job. Can't you see that you have a resource? There is rain all the time. Rain all the time. There is the soils are there. But you find like someone from central Kenya, Rift Valley, and even from the Lake region, they are complaining that there are no jobs, and yet they have, they can at least engage in farming and sell that particular produce. So sometimes that hurts me, because you see, me, I'm from Kenya, I'm from Machakos, and you know, we are in the arid and semi-arid. So it's like we don't have a choice, as we just have to beg the government to start like irrigation schemes, or even engage in innovation so that we can bridge the gap. And that is why I usually say, if you are a farmer, engage in value processing. If you are if you are practicing dairy farming, why don't you even produce yogurt? All the time I go to the supermarket, I go and buy yogurt, processed yogurt. Now imagine like the youth now who are in favorable climates that favor large-scale dairy farming. And you say that you want to go and produce, and you want to engage in yogurt production. Or let's say mango. You see, like mangoes are prevalent most so in the semi-arid, like in Makueni, Machakos. But you find like people are selling now the mango to these brokers who usually come with lorries. But they do not factor in maybe making mango juice. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that the government should because you know the government exports in tons. It exports in tons. And that is why I'm urging the government. This coffee that you are exporting to Europe, why not put it all together and encourage there to be value addition, value processing, and youth are going to be employed because of whatever you are doing. But you know, the government is like, is saying, oh, you know, we have youth fund. So through youth fund, the youth are going to, they're going to get a job. That is why I'm urging the Ministry of Youth, Gender and Public Service, Treasury, and also the Ministry of Devolution. Let them sit together and devise policies that work for Kenya. Stop borrowing what is happening and then you come and copy paste it here. Because at the moment, what we need is we need action. We need action. We need action. We need to see things done. And you know, when things are done, everything is going to work. So the other thing I'd also like to talk about is the lack of comprehensive population policies. So you find like, you see like in Kenya, the number of people giving birth is very high. And you find like the people who are working, the people who are depending on those ones who are working is very high. So you find like someone who is working is providing for 10 members of their families. Why can't Kenya adapt the population policy that Rwanda adapted? That is ensuring that even the youth there is increase in job creation even in that particular country. So that's why I'm just saying, let us just revise, let us think outside the box, and let us be the solution, because you know every time unasikia serikali saidia, serikali saidia, serikali saidia, but I believe that it needs a collective effort. Even you as youth who is also listening to me, can you engage in value processing? Can you engage in one, like, let's say, like you see, like now there is also the Njugu Karanga, groundnuts, and then you go and produce peanut butter. If you bring peanut butter, me, I'm going to buy it from you because I want to apply it on the bread when I wake up in the morning to have breakfast. So let us work together, be innovative, because everybody is doing something, but more needs to be done. So those are my suggestions on how to tackle youth unemployment here in Kenya. And so I just want to say thank you for joining me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Youth Projects Kenya, so that you can also be getting notifications when we are uploading new posts. And I can see here Bill Mboya. Bill Mboya is saying employability skills to be precise. Indeed, employability skills to be precise. Because you find like, let's say right now you get a job at, let's say, like which company? Let's say like which company? Equity. But you don't have the skills that they require. And that is why you find like what Equity does when those ones who have graduated from high school, they get them and they nurture them so that they can incorporate the culture of Equity Bank, so that they can grow Equity as an organization. And you can see what that has resulted to. You can see now Equity Bank is now in all over East Africa. And it's because they said, okay, like now the ones who are graduating from high school, they don't have these skills. Let them train them, because those skills are also not in high school. So they said, let us bridge the gap and train them. And once we train them, we absorb them. Bill Mboya is also saying jobs are available, but young people don't know how to transform their knowledge into problem-solving skills. Very true. Do you know, like, Kenya is one of the leading countries in Africa where youth are literate. Literate means that they are knowledgeable. They have gone to high school, they have graduated to university, and they even have masters. And many of them now are pursuing doctorate degree. But you find like majority are into receiving. They want to receive. They want to receive from the government, they want to receive from everyone, but they don't want to give. And you can give to Kenya by being innovative, finding innovative solutions that you can bring to the marketplace. And I know by so doing, things are going to change. Oh, and Bill is also saying, as an employer, what matters to me is what value an employee is adding to a company. Once I don't see this right from the interviews, I won't hire the person. That is why the issue of matching the skill set now to jobs is very important. So anyway, I just want to say thank you for joining us once again. Don't forget us to join us next week so that we can also talk on another topical issue. So thank you once again, and do have an enjoyable week. Peace.